It's in the name.
Welcome into season 3 of the Good Old Fashioned Dislike podcast, where dynasties never die and hate is an extreme word, but just barely. This episode is brought to you by the adventures of Ben and Travis in the Worrycoaster, a children's book about that will equip you and help your kids deal with anxiety. Pre-order your copy at benandtravis.com/books. On this podcast, we usually pick a football rivalry and we submit that rivalry to the panel of dislike. They will come up with reasons why we like one team, dislike one team, and vice versa. By the end, we come to a conclusion of where loyalties lie, mainly based on non-football things, but that's what's so much fun. Be sure to tell us in the comments. We'll throw them up on the screen. What you think or who you think will win in the semifinals of the college football playoffs and the NFL Wildcard. Current bowl pick'em standings among the panel of dislike. Will is out in front at 7-2. Blake at 6-2, Ben at 6-3, Trav, myself 4-5, and Josh at 3-5. And so we're battling it out. Had streaky. I was 0-7 there for a minute, but I've turned it around since. And Will and Blake leading us. Blake was on a tear, and then Will has caught up. So here, where we stand on the college football semifinals, we've got Notre Dame defeating Indiana 27-17, then turning around and beating a Notre Dame team a Georgia team 23-10. Penn State defeats SMU 38-10, turns around and beats Boise State 31-14. Texas defeats Clemson 38-24, then turns around and has a nail biter, beating Arizona State 39-31. Ohio State destroys Tennessee 42-17, and then goes on to beat Oregon 41-21 to advance. And so the current matchups are the Orange Bowl, number 6 Penn State versus number 7 Notre Dame. LSU or the fans on ESPN are currently picking Notre Dame to win and an 84% tick. The Cotton Bowl is number 8, which is crazy to say. The seating on this thing is not great. Number 8, Ohio State versus number 5, Texas, with 82% voting for Ohio State. Do you agree with that? Do you think that's what's going to happen? I think that generally anybody who's watched Ohio State play can get on board with that idea. And so those are the two games in the college level. You've got the Orange Bowl, number 6 Penn State versus number 7 Notre Dame. Who you got winning this thing, right? Everything in me wants to say Penn State is going to win. I don't want to cheer for Notre Dame. I'm not a Notre Dame guy. I've never been a Notre Dame guy. I was, born with the idea, being an Alabama fan, you just don't root for Notre Dame in really any circumstance. And so for some reason, I find myself in an odd spot cheering for Penn State. But then I get caught in the idea that I don't want a Big Ten national championship, right? I want that not to happen. And it certainly, by all means, looks like Ohio State might take care of business. We're here for the takes. Call the upset, call your shot if you want to do that, of who's going to win those games. But man, like Penn State, Notre Dame are good and maybe even borderline great football teams in a regular college football setting. It's just Ohio State looks so stinking strong that it looks like it's just an Ohio State Invitational. They've been playing so strong. And can you maintain that? I don't know. My golden dislike is this idea of it's okay to punt, guys. It's okay to punt. I know momentum's strong, but it's okay to punt. So let's get down to the panel of dislike. So we got the Orange Bowl, number 6 Penn State, number 7 Notre Dame. It's crazy to think we're this far into the playoffs, and yet both of these teams feel like they can play better. Both of these teams feel like they've kind of gotten a good hand. I don't know that you would ever say playing Georgia is an easy hand by any means, but they've been given a pretty decent deal, and now they're going to butt heads. We've got Penn State going into it saying, hey, we can handle the big game. right? And they may even look at it and go, SMU, and we've won big games. We beat SMU. That's a big game. We beat Boise State. That's a big game. But I think college football in general is still like, meh. You beat Notre Dame. That's a big game. I'm giving James Franklin all the credit if you beat this Notre Dame team. Notre Dame, probably not as easy as Penn State of a pathway. I mean, the Indiana squad at home, that's nice. Georgia's tough. I don't care who's under center. You might can make the argument Carson Beck under center probably gives them enough juice to kind of push Notre Dame a little bit more in that game. So this is kind of the show me, right? Like, show me who's the real deal. Who's the real deal? Number 6, Penn State. Number 7, Notre Dame. The panel, the official pick in a landslide in the Orange Bowl, although I was very tempted to go Penn State, but we all went the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And so the panel of dislike says that the number 7 Notre Dame Fighting Irish, we agree with the ESPN voting. Notre Dame will move on to the college football national championship. And as a tried and true Southerner, SEC, Alabama homer, that hurts my feelings to say, right? I don't want Notre Dame advancing, but we all believe that they will. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Anybody had a comment on who's winning the Notre Dame Penn State matchup in the Orange Bowl in just a few days? The next college football semifinal is the Cotton Bowl Classic out in Dallas. You got the number 8 Ohio State, which 82% of ESPN says is winning this football game. Shout out to Ray Loves Donuts over on the TikToks. Riley Leonard is from Fairhope, so we're rooting for him. I like that. April Houghton pulling for Penn State. Me too, which is a weird place to be. I'm going to say it, right? Like I like Riley Leonard. If they win, I'm going to hold on to that hope. But yeah, I'm pulling for Penn State. We are Penn State. That feels, once again, so stinking weird to say. That's odd to me. I don't like saying it. But on to the Cotton Bowl, number 8 Ohio State, which looks like the Death Star, Ray. Like, I don't know if you like it. They just look unbeatable. But I'm with you, Texas, all the way at this point, which once again is so weird to say. I hate saying that. I hate saying Texas Longhorns all the way. Not a fan of saying that. So I'm not going to say it very often. But Ohio State, April says she's rolling with Texas. Is that y'all's pick, or is that your rooting interest? Because those can be two different things, right? In my mind, that's two different things. I am rooting for Texas. The panel of dislike, I like it, April. I like the pick. I hope so. The panel is rolling with the Ohio State Buckeyes as the official pick. So both semifinal games, the panel of dislike are rolling together, and we are picking officially a Notre Dame Ohio State Buckeyes national championship game. And wow. What up, J.W. Riggs? Now, you want to talk about a guy who is a superstar, and not just in his own world. He's actually a superstar. So shout out to you, big dog. And so we have official pick. The Ben and Travis panel dislike pick is Notre Dame, number 7 Notre Dame, number 8 Ohio State in the national championship on January the 20th. We'll see how it plays out. And as we play for a custom jersey, the winner of the panel dislike picks go custom jersey. Let's see who's winning the Ben and Travis group over on ESPN. Our Pick'em group currently, Greg Eaton and Blake Holloman, resident Barner, tied for first place in the Pick'em group for number 1. I'm going to cheer weirdly for Blake, because if Blake wins, I don't have to get him anything. Greg wins, he gets something free. So I'm being a little selfish there. I'm just kidding. I love giving out gifts, right? Prizes. So on to the NFL, where I would usually say on to the guys who get paid. But let's be honest, they're all getting paid these days. But we go to the wild card, and the first game of the weekend, the number 6 Pittsburgh Steelers at 10-7, losers of 5 straight games there, JW. 5, I believe, at least 4 straight games, playing the Baltimore Ravens, the 3 seed at 12-5. King Henry, Lamar Jackson taking on, Russell and Pickens and Watt and Najee Harris, 2 great Alabama backs facing off in this wild card round. And the majority, the official pick, is that the Baltimore Ravens will win this game. I am the dissenting because I've seen way too many times the Ravens lose to a Steelers team that they have zero business losing to, and it drives me crazy. They do get them at home, but Will, Ben, Blake, and Josh all are riding with the Baltimore Ravens. I certainly hope so. I will be rooting. Do I think their defense can contain Lamar? Ray, I think sometimes the Ravens, kind of like Alabama's offense this year, we got too cute. Like last year, we tried to outthrow Patrick Mahomes. So, if you try to outthrow Patrick Mahomes, you get what you get. And we tried to do that, and we lost, which is not a shock to anyone. So, if we do what we are known to do and we hand the ball off to King Henry or we run it with Lamar, although Lamar's been very accurate throwing, but, strange things happen in this game. I hate that we have to play the Steelers. Most people love that, but it is a true black and blue rivalry that we're going to see here. And so the official pick is the Baltimore Ravens. I am the only one dissenting in picking the Steelers, but I'm hoping that my terrible run of picks continues. I hope I'm wrong because I keep being wrong. I might as well use it to my advantage for the first time. So it's the Baltimore Ravens moving on. Next, we have the 5 seed LA Chargers, and we have the number 4 Houston Texans. The Chargers are 11-6. They did not win the division, obviously, since Kansas City is in that division. The Houston Texans are South Division champs in the AFC. They're 10-7. The Chargers are 11-6. The panel, the official pick, is the LA Chargers moving on. Ben, myself, Blake, and Josh, and then Will rolling with brother in Christ, DeMeco Ryans, head coach of the Houston Texans. I'm assuming that's usually his philosophy in picking the Texans to win. But he is the dissenting voice, as we have all picked for the upset, the LA Chargers taking that win over the Houston Texans and moving on. And so all of us trying to gain ground on each other as well. Will's got a chance to gain ground there as he goes against us. I have a chance to gain ground, but I'd rather the Ravens win than me gain ground on winning that custom jersey. The final game in the AFC is the number 7 Denver Broncos at 10-7, also not division winners because they're in there with the Chiefs, led by Bo Nix. The resurgent Bo Nix taking on the number 2 Buffalo Bills at 13-4. And so you have the Denver Broncos traveling to Buffalo. The weather shouldn't affect the Broncos nearly as much if it's bad, but let's be honest, it could be possibly pretty bad. And this is a unanimous pick by the panel. We are all rolling with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. So unanimously, we pick Denver. So we went Ravens officially, Chargers officially, and then Buffalo Bills all on the same page, along with you, Ray. So there you go. So that's our AFC picks. On to the NFC. We have the number 7 Green Bay Packers at 11-6. The Cheeseheads taking on the 2nd seed Philadelphia Eagles at 14-3, who've been banged up. And if you'd have told me they were 14-3, I probably would have been shocked just because of all the injuries. And every time I looked up, Devontae Smith was out. I know Jalen's been beat up. And that might lead some intrigue there. But we're not rolling with it. Unanimously, the panel dislike is rolling with the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles in that green matchup with the Green Bay Packers, the 7th seed. All right, the next pick is number 6 Washington Commanders at 12-5. taking on the Tampa Bay Fighting Baker Mayfields. Except they're the Buccaneers, sorry, at 10-7. So this one's as close to a split as possible, although there's 5 of us, so it's impossible to split. We've not had to use the coin flip of doom in a while, but it is the number 6 Washington Commanders at 12-5, taking on the number 3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 10-7. The official pick, Ray, you're a big Cowboys fan. I understand that. Can't pull for them, but you can pick one or the other, right? You can pick one, and you may be more equipped to pick one since you keep up with that division a little bit better than probably I do. But the official pick is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Will, Ben, and myself rolling with Tampa Bay, the creamsicle warriors of old, with Blake and Josh dissenting, and they're going with the Washington Commanders, which, hey, I can't necessarily go. And so much of this is about who gets hot, right? Who gets red hot, who's riding a wave right now. That's almost why I like the bye, the first round bye can come back to hurt you, as we've seen in the college football. And then finally, in the NFL wildcard round, we have the 5 seed Minnesota Vikings at 14-3. How sad it must be from battling for the division, number 1 seed, and with 1 loss, you tumble all the way down. And they're at 14-3, 5 seed, taking on the number 4 LA Rams at 10-7. And we have 1 dissenting pick, but the official pick of the panel of dislike is going to be the Minnesota Vikings, with myself, Will, Ben, and Josh all picking, and Blake rolling with the Rams. Ray says over on TikTok, if I have no choice, I'd pick a banged-up Eagles team, but Detroit and Vikings are on fire. And I hope the bye doesn't hurt the Lions, because I'm going to be honest with you. I'd love to see a Lions-Ravens Super Bowl, because I could just go home happy, right? Whatever happened in that, I could be a happy man. But nonetheless, appreciate everybody joining us. Appreciate you hopping on TikTok. Great comments, Ray. Appreciate you. Love you. I know you're keeping it locked down there on the coast, as you always do. Appreciate all the comments. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this on Facebook, then it will store. You can go back and rewatch it. You can leave your comments. You can give us your pick. We'd love to know what you think. And as always, this is no way, shape, form, or fashion anything you should be going and betting on one way or the other, because we don't have any idea what we're talking about. As many of you on TikTok have told us, and on YouTube and Facebook, and we just love the conversation. We hope to keep it going, and we will see y'all next week. Good luck. God bless. And know that we love you here at the panel of Dislike and the good old-fashioned Dislike podcast.